Welcome to the first original, the old GOAT and the RedCoat, an EFHQ production, our first podcast here. What we got here is Phil Powers. Excuse me. Wow. Got Phil Powers, my man from a tiny little village in the UK, Hertfordshire County, from the tiny village of Sawbridgeworth, North London is where he came from. I am yours truly, Mo Revels, head coach at Elite Fitness. We got our first podcast here. We're trying to do something different here and trying to help and spread our word of what we think coaching is and coaching should be. We work with a lot of kids, a lot of parents, and I'll let Phil tell you about himself a little bit, but at the end of the day, we work with a lot of kids, a lot of people. We coach hard, and we see there's a need just to discuss our philosophy and discuss what we think coaching is and should be going forward, and how it impacts these kids, not only in the gym here at Elite Fitness where we do a lot of sports performance training, but how it directly ties in with the actual sport. Phil's a soccer coach for club team FC Dallas. Works with a lot of young kids, and right now I'm just gonna pass it to my man Phil.
Thank you, Mo.
You know, don't excuse the British accent. That's why I got him here.
Oh man,
so lovely mate.
On the spot.
If you go ahead and introduce yourself just a little bit and what you're about and where you're from and kind of your background a little bit. After you do that, I'll go into my background here. But let's just hear what my man Phil has to say.
Thank you. Very nice of you. So yeah, like you were saying, Mo. From England, a small little village in England called Sawbridgeworth in the county of Hertfordshire. So I've been over in America now for 6 years, on and off since 2011. Been here permanently 3.5 years roughly. So yeah, my journey kind of started 6 years back in my undergrad program in England. I played there as a player. Played there as a player in college as well, and played at the semi-pro level. So yeah, brought me over here coaching, had an opportunity, got to come out here, got to, see the environment that you guys have out here, the youth, and it's a strong passion of mine. So ultimately that's what started the whole journey. And
that and a little lassie.
That and a little lassie.
A little lassie will keep you here a little bit longer.
Yeah, no, we won't go into too much of that. But absolutely, yeah. So, and that was the best thing that come of it. But the football stuff is a big passion of mine. Coaching in general is something that I've been involved in, and I'm still learning. I'm learning every day. I'm trying to further myself. I'm trying to get better as a coach. But coaching is crucial. We have a big impact on young people's lives in general.
Yeah, I mean, Phil, like we were talking earlier, wouldn't you say that anybody growing up or in your adolescence, there's people that impact it. You got your parents, crucial, but besides that, there usually is a coach, top 5 influential people as you grew up, and that's how important coaches can be and should be. And what we discussed is just the responsibility of that, and understanding that impact that you have on every kid's life. That it's not a paycheck. You chose to be a coach.
Absolutely.
And when you choose to go certain directions, there's obligations to that. And we really want to discuss some of those obligations that we feel are crucial to being a good coach and just what the kids deserve on both sides of the thing. Didn't mean to cut you off, but...
No, absolutely. I mean, it really is a really important role, as a coach. The people that you come into contact with from, both of us, ages from, 5 years old all the way up to seniors, going off to college, in college, coming back from college, and if you turn around to, I bet if you took a poll and you asked a group of adults in different areas, different ages, but, they've moved on with their life, they're older, and you ask them, looking back, if you could pick out some role models, what role models, who would them people be? And you're exactly right. There's going to be one person in there. It's either going to be a school teacher, a sports teacher, a PE teacher, or my club coach, or my pro coach, or there's going to be some coach in there. So it's really important that, you know, we have a positive influence on these people. You know, we try and do the things right. We give them the opportunities that they deserve, you know. So yeah, no.
I mean, I think that's huge. I'm just gonna drop into a little bit of my background again. I'm Mo Revels, and you know, head coach at Elite Fitness headquarters here in Euless, Texas, and it's been a passion of mine since, you know, growing up, just like Phil. You know, we played football, played baseball. I mean, we were all around town doing sports, sandlot, whatever. No cell phones, just be home before the streetlights come on. The kind of last generation of doing that. But you're right. You're exactly right. Coaches play a pivotal role in anything. There's things I tell kids today that coaches told me back when I was growing up. And what we're trying to do here is at Elite Fitness is create a safe environment where kids can feel comfortable, learn, work hard, but also discover who they are and what they're about, and you know, overcome obstacles that they didn't think they could do. And that's crucial that, you know, kids have that safe environment to do that. Now, I've been training for 12 years, and, you know, finally decided that I wanted to finally step out and you know, work a little bit more with athletes and work with, you know, I never wanted to be put in a box to say he does this or he's just a personal trainer and he does that. I like working with people.
There you go.
And
that's a massive part of it, you know.
Yeah.
Just working with people, you know. We're coaches and we all have our different specialties and our different sports maybe, or different areas of training. You know, but we're life coaches. You know, there's an aspect of the sport involved. Mm-hmm. But there's also a huge aspect of the player, the individual. You know, who they are, and allowing them to figure that out, especially from the younger ages. You know,
you got to figure it out. You got to be comfortable where you're at, figuring out, because you're going to fail. You're going to have moments where you're down, and a coach has to be able to push you past those moments. Has to be able to press the right buttons so you can not get too down, and also press the buttons where you're not getting too up. You know, and that's a fine line that you gotta walk with coaching adolescents or hey, for me, you know, personal training for a long time, just anybody, you know, whatever goals that they have, you have to figure out a way to push them past their perceived notions of what they can and cannot do, and make them feel safe about doing it, not being overbearing, but being able to light that right fire that keeps them going. Right here, what I'm going to go over is this something we were looking up whenever we were talking and chatting about this, and it's Wikipedia's definition of coaching. And coaching is a form of development in which a person called a coach supports a learner or client in achieving a specific personal or professional goal by providing training, advice, and guidance. The learner is sometimes called a coachee. Occasionally, coaching may mean an informal relationship between two people of whom one has more experience and expertise than the other and offers advice and guidance as the latter learns. But coaching differs from mentoring in focusing on specific tasks or objectives as opposed to more general goals or overall development. That's coaching. I mean, you sum that up.
Yeah.
Wikipedia did a good job there.
Yeah, Wikipedia's done an alright job there. We'll let them have it. But I mean, you know what? When you say that, and a coach is going to have elements and parts of that and buzzwords from in that which filter into their own coaching philosophies. Every person's philosophy is different, and there's no right or wrong. You know, something that, you know, spins on my head is that guidance part. You mentioned it in there, the guidance part, and you know, I feel like allowing the youth, allowing these players to have the appropriate guidance, but be in an environment where they're allowed to express themselves. You know, and it's okay to make mistakes. Like, we want you to. Like, I see too much coaching, you know, back in the UK, back over here, where it's very, very directed. It's very directed, which is fine. In moments, you know, I think that's fine. There has to be direction, you know, from a coach, but we've also got to understand that we've got to let these players, we've got to let these athletes explore, what they're doing, explore the depths of, what they're training, making mistakes, and us as coaches, us as mentors, as coachees, whatever, guiding them.
Yeah.
Guiding them to find the right answers. Maybe not telling them, but guiding them towards finding the right answers.
I mean, I'll tell you what, like, I tell kids now is the best way for me to coach you is to mess up, and then I know what to fix. But I can't fix effort. And if you're messing up because of effort, only you can control that.
Absolutely.
I need you to go all out, make your mistake, and now we can fix that mistake. We have somewhere to go now. Now I know where it's at.
Absolutely.
And that's vital in trying to teach some of these movements that we do to the kid. And I mean, I'm going to jump in here with that definition of the thing that always jumps out to me is the mentoring role in what coaching is. If you think you're not a mentor as a coach, you're dead wrong, because one, it's a natural, you can call it a natural hazard of the job. Not that I don't see it as a hazard. I just think it's a natural thing with coaching, because you are motivating people constantly to reach goals that they don't think or doubt, and teaching them how to do it.
And that mentor bit, that ties into, I think the mentor / role model is what it really ties into. The being a role model, is key. Understanding what the role model part is, you've got to understand yourself first and foremost as a coach. What are your values? What are your key values for you? Mm-hmm. Because this is the people that you're around, they're going to feed off that.
Yeah.
They're going to feed off you as a person, as an individual, as a coach, as a role model. So establishing, what are my values? And that was something that until a couple of years ago, or not even less than that I never thought about in my aspect of coaching. I know I have good values or values throughout life, right and wrong, but sometimes you don't think about that, like turning up on time.
Yeah.
Like that's a strong value. Like, hey, I need to show my players, if I'm going to have a go at them for being late to training, and that's not acceptable.
I better be there.
Then you better be there.
Yeah, exactly.
You better be there.
Exactly. And we've all had coaches that have, probably been less than in some of those areas, and as coaches, we're people too. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna make our mistakes, but
we have to make our mistakes.
Yeah,
we have to,
for sure. And that's how you learn in any aspect of anything. What I really want people to get out of this, and anybody to understand, is one, coaches aren't perfect. They're people, and everybody has their own philosophy, and at the end of the day, good coaching is trying to force somebody, or not force somebody, but inspire somebody to do something that they didn't think they can achieve. Or if one of your athletes has high goals, putting in everything to help them achieve those goals. Mm-hmm. It's a completely selfless act. I think coaching should be a completely selfless act.
I heard a couple of weeks ago, I was on a course, and I was listening to some national coaches speak, and one of them said, if you love something, give it away.
Yeah.
And I thought, what's he talking about? And I sat back and I listened and I reflected on that. I thought again what he was saying was that if you love something, give it away.
Yeah.
And that's it. You love what you do. Everyone out there loves what they do. Lots of people out there, they do it for free.
Yeah.
They're volunteers.
Exactly.
They're volunteers. So, big respect to them guys, absolutely. But, giving it away and passing on, your knowledge, passing on your guidance, your tips.
Yeah.
And providing that pathway. You talk about, if an individual has higher aspirations or is looking to climb the tree and go further places, then, truly providing them opportunities.
Yeah.
To reach them goals.
Yeah. And sometimes, when you say selfless, sometimes those are giving up of more time than you'd want. Sometimes are spending that extra time with them, helping them, providing, staying late after practice, or opening your doors so they can come in and get their work in. that's huge. That's huge in somebody's development.
Absolutely.
And yeah, you pass that on, but how does that really affect them growing and maturing and learning? Hopefully they see that and they are able to give that to somebody else, or they're willing to give a little bit of extra of their time to another person because it's been afforded to them through other means. And I think the more selfless coaching can be, where it's not about the coach and what the coach achieves with his teams and this and that. You see the really great coaches. They, Michael Jordan with Phil Jackson, or Coach Popovich down in San Antonio, and they really truly work on the psyche of the athlete to perform at their best. And I think that's huge, because you can't get the most out of somebody unless you understand who they are and what they're about. And to understand somebody and who they're about, it takes time and actually listening and caring. And that may be the biggest thing, is caring about who they are and what they want. Now you have somewhere to start. It becomes not about you. It becomes about, how can I help this athlete become what they want to become, inside the gym, outside the gym, on the field. All those things come in together. If you're having a bad day at home, or you're having a bad day and you show up to practice, you got to be able to listen.
And before you listen, you've got to know that something's up.
Yeah. You got to see it right away.
And you're not going to see it right away.
Yeah.
If you've got a group of athletes that come into the gym, they come onto the field, they go onto the tennis courts. It don't matter.
Yeah.
But you, as a leader, as a coach, you've got to know when little Maggie walks in. Hey man, what's up with her? She doesn't look.
Yeah.
And that is that next part where it's not about making little Maggie be able to serve the ball over the tennis court and ace the opponent every time. It's about knowing Maggie. Knowing Maggie.
Yeah.
I know Maggie. I know her family.
Yeah.
I know she has brothers and sisters, and I can tell you what her brothers and sisters do, and what her hobbies are, and what she doesn't like to do, and it's about going that extra step and really being able to get to understand and know your player, know the individual, so you can relate. So when they do show up and something's up, you can have that conversation, and hopefully you can provide some sort of solution, some guidance to maybe overcome that, or to put a smile on their face.
Just an ear to listen.
Just an ear to listen to.
Yeah,
exactly that.
That's it.
Sometimes that's all it is.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all it is.
And that's, I just want to give you guys some background on how we decided to come up with this idea of a podcast, and it, if you see that we feel comfortable with each other and it's just going back and forth, this isn't the first time we've had these conversations. They popped up, and Phil's a passionate guy. I'm a passionate about what I do, and we get off in these tangents and just rant and talk and go back and forth. And at some point, it was becoming, hey, we need to record this. This is what we need to. I want to be able to put out my philosophy. You're passionate about it. Let's see what we got here, and we hope you guys are able to enjoy it and listen to it and take something from it, and
add to it. Come in and add to it, because this is just such a small part of two people's opinions and what they're trying to do to help the youth of today in what they're invested in. So, add to it, and I think that's, as coaches, like I said, I don't know if we was recording at that time, but, man, I'm far from a perfect coach. I'll never be a perfect coach.
Yeah.
If I was a perfect coach, we wouldn't be sitting here now talking,
Right.
You'd be watching me on TV.
Yeah, exactly.
And even them guys on TV, they're not perfect. And that's okay.
It's okay.
And that's okay, so... No, definitely add into it, pull in for it. Hey, I like this. I don't like this. I don't agree with this. But that's how you learn. That's how you grow.
Yeah, the main thing is just starting a discussion, having a discussion on it, and talking back and forth. And hey, we're more than willing to accept criticism, comments. You like it, you don't like it, topics you may want us to talk about and get our thoughts on. Again, this is our first podcast, and definitely Phil, I made Phil guarantee to 100 of them.
100.
Straight out the box.
He didn't tell me that it was going to be 30 minutes apiece, though.
Yeah. Straight out the box. I said, you got to do 100 of these bad boys. I just think we have something here, and I think it's worth listening to and worth getting the, getting the conversation going of what we think this thing can be and what this thing is. And if we go a little bit deeper into actually, more of what me and Phil's roles are in coaching, I call myself a strength coach. The athletes I work with is primarily in the gym, working on strength, explosive power, and getting them strong to be able to play their sport. I get them general strength and skills to be able to hand over to a coach like Phil that has a team and is actually playing the sport. And I tell some of these parents, like, look, I know your kid loves me and we're good at the gym, but like, I don't have a team. They can't come play for me. If your coach says to do this and this is what he wants you to do, then that's, hey, my hands are up. I'll be wherever you want me to be, however you want me to be there. I will support. I will show up. You need me to come in on a Sunday, Saturday, whatever time, I'm there. But as far as coach wants you to do this and do that, it's his team. I can just prepare you and hand over a coach, an athlete that works hard, is prepared to work, has the conditioning and have all the other things that they need to be able to coach and turn the athlete into a football player, a soccer player, a tennis player, whatever. I can only give them so many skills, and it's up to the sport coach to specialize those skills. And that's kind of where me and Phil come at it from the same
different
angle,
approaches.
but different approaches.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Same angle, but different approaches.
Different things we have to do.
Yeah.
Phil is playing tournaments and games with these girls, and he has to get a group of girls come together and strive for the same goal and play together. I get a bunch of kids in here, and I'm more or less in control of, hey, you need to work out, you need to do it this way, you need to work hard, and that's it. So that's the difference, and I'll let Phil kind of go into what he sees on his side and kind of how he sees what we do and how it correlates to him on actually coaching the sports.
So, I mean,
I may not have gave him a good lead there. I just kind of
God.
dropped it off on him. But hey, we're learning here. We're learning here. I'll get it right one day at a time.
I think.
Well, we can just go back and forth on some of like the kids that you guys have handed us so far through FC Dallas, like some of your Max and Stubbs, and we actually it's 6:35.
The two come together, There's
yeah.
The two come together. We talk about strength training, which is obviously Elite Fitness headquarters, and that's what you guys specialize in. And then we have, club environments, different sports, and the two intertwine together, right? There's only so much that we can progress with, out on the field, specializing in the sport. And providing the skill and the technique and the tactical aspects of the game, but the big element of as well that comes with that is the body's got to be growing with it. The body's got to be growing.
And even you actually, I'm jumping here. You actually not only do you coach, but you do privates as well to work more on skills and the array of things you have to learn and do as an athlete. The demand is so high now, but also, the demand is so high, and the demand's so high on the body now as well. That the games, sports in general, as the standard is being raised by the athletes that are coming onto the scene in the pro level. The youth have got to really step up their competitive.
Their game, and it is so competitive. My aspect, of course, I think where the two kind of fling together is, first and foremost is the individual. Is the individual. When someone comes to me, someone comes into our facility, into our club, what can I do with this individual? Not what can I do with her and my team. It's not about me. It's not about me. And don't get me wrong, yes, everyone likes to have success, but the success is with the individual. When they came to me to when they left, did they improve? Did they get better? Did they learn something or did they achieve something that they was wanting to achieve, whatever that may be?
Yeah.
You know, from one point to another. So, you know, having that impact and of course, you know, focusing on that individual is really, really important. You know, and there's different ways that you can focus on the individual. You know, and you're going to deal with different people that require different sorts of attention, different work, more work, less guidance, you know, more direct guidance, you know, because they might not have had the training and have had the coaching or whatnot for where they maybe should be. And we see that all the time. You know, we see people come into the gym, right? You see people come into Elite Fitness. Yeah. I see people come out into the club scene and, you know, they're 14, 15 years old and you look at them, you're like,
what have you been doing?
What have you been doing?
How are you here?
You know, what have you been doing? You shouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
You should be much further along. You know, so it has to start somewhere. You know, it has to start somewhere. You know, and it all kind of ties back into the environment that these players are in, the people that they're around, the role models.
I mean, and it's no different, kind of in life. If you're at work, if you're a boss, if you're a manager or whatever, you manage people. You got to coach your employees to do a certain job and do it a certain way, and there's standards set, and there's hard work and I mean, all these things. This podcast we want to do is it's tied through sport and coaching. But
if you go off the sorry Mo, just because if you go off what the US national coaching staff, you know, the three roles of a coach are leader, teacher, and manager. Yeah. You know? I
mean, and that
they're the three roles of a coach.
And that ties into life, period. God. I mean, either you're a boss, you're a parent, you're a coach, in all aspects, you're a teacher. Like, in all aspects of work life and life, period, you hit those things. So, as we close this first podcast, we hope you guys enjoyed it, and we hope that we can earn your ear for more than just one episode. Like I said, I made Phil promise to do 100 of them. This is the first one. Please, we'd like any feedback that you have. But before we end this podcast, let me can you go over those three goals or those three roles that a coach has real quick, Phil?
Yeah, no. So again, you know, something that I'm constantly learning about, you know, and it fascinates me. But you know, US soccer define three roles of a coach as a leader, a teacher, and a manager. And I think that the FA in England falls somewhere between that as well. You know, probably some different terminology, but it falls in line with that.
Yeah, and I'll just close it with what me and Eddie Foster, you know, our soundboard man extraordinaire, Too Fast Eddie Foster, legend of the Ville. Well, we came up with a long time ago of what ELITE stands for. When we first started, it was engage, lead, inspire, transform, and educate. And that's what we hold dear to what we think ELITE stands for, creating a safe environment for kids and wanting them to learn and grow, and not just kids but adults. I mean, like I said, I've never wanted to be put in a box. We train. We're trainers, and anybody that comes in here, you know, 60-year-old, 50-year-old, 12-year-old, 6-year-old, it doesn't matter. You will get the training that you need for your body to achieve your goals. And we hope you guys continue listening. We hope you enjoy this first podcast. Thank you for Phil for putting up with me and
thank you.
You know, my crazy ideas. I'm starting to think I'm either crazy or a genius. I don't know which one it is, but probably more crazy. But thank you for listening to the first episode of the Old Goat and the RedCoat, an EFHQ production. Hopefully you guys tune in more. Hopefully we'll have some more guests coming for you. We will announce more guests coming out as the week goes on, and you guys can listen to this. Right now we have no sponsors. I will take a sponsor or two. If you want to call us at the gym, email me at mo@trainefhq.com. Our website is www.trainefhq.com. Hey, hope you enjoyed the listen. Talk to you later. Love, peace, and happiness.